Hello everybody, it's Anna from Astralladytarot. I was so sick of seeing my face all the time with Tarot Vlogmas that I decided to do a different tag for today's prompt. Because it is December 21st, Merry Yule everybody, Happy Yule, Winter Solstice is finally here. I already talked about my the traditions that I personally have, the traditions that I have with my family. So today's prompt, I feel like it's already kind of taken care of. If you want to know, and you haven't seen my last two videos, I believe those are the two videos in which I talk about these things the most. So go ahead and check those out. But for today, I decided to do Mixtress Ray's Ride or Die Unfair Comparisons tag because these are my Ride or Die decks, the three main systems that I personally work with. Obviously, I think I could have added the Crow's Magic Tarot, but it's not a system that is considered traditional. So maybe you see in there, I made the little link of what are your traditions that you have. Well, these are my traditional systems decks that I have so that I can do a different tag in this prompt. I hope this still counts as Tarot Vlogmas. It does to me because, I already answered the question. And now for today, I decided to do something a little bit different, like a Christmas special, since it's such a special date in the year. Now, this is my Rider-Waite-Smith Centennial deck. These are the backs. The only thing I did to this deck is I scratched off the copyright in every corner, so there's no copyright. This is my Toth Greenie, the 83 version. So this is a very green bordered, green hued with more of a blue hue to it. Greenie, these are the backs for this deck. So obviously Rider-Waite-Smith system, Toss system, both, this is Golden Dawn and this is Golden Dawn / Crowley. And then here we have my Triomphe de la Luna Paradoxical, the classic Paradoxical. These are the backs, Beautiful Moons. And this is by Patrick Valenza. This is my most modern deck, but actually the oldest system because I do consider this a Marseille system. Even though, it's very untraditional in its own way. Lots of liberties, creative liberties were taken, but I absolutely love that. I love the colors, all the backgrounds are dark, so really what I like to see. But it's like the Fool is numbered and all of those things. It's not exactly old school Marseille as we see in all those historical decks. It's not a historical Marseille, but still I consider this a Marseille deck. Yeah, let's just dive in because I don't know, I could talk to you about everything, but here are the three Fools. All of them are numbered 0. All of them are named the Fool because all of these decks are in English language. Now, I don't know which is my favorite. This is the one I saw first because the Rider-Waite-Smith was my first system. I like it a lot. When I see this picture, I tend to read it more in the sense of, or first, because obviously there are different layers in every card. I read every tarot card that I see. I usually make a combination of these three systems, right? In my head in my readings. The usual way when I see this picture, the way I read the Fool is it's about starting something new beginnings, like a fresh start. He's about to fall off this cliff, but will he fall, or did he jump, or is he going to fly? All of that, right? With the white light of Keter following him. This is the way I tend to read this Fool. Then we have here the Crowley's Fool, Crowley and Frida Harris Fool, and this one is drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith. So here we have a Fool, which is, well, kind of a funny face, but I think it's supposed to be Pan or a version of Pan because of the horns. And in here, I see the emphasis is much more on this higher consciousness that the Fool is already in, because it's so much of transformation. We have the caduceus here, the butterfly, the dove, the hawk, so many things, and then this egg shape. So I feel like this Fool, even though it's not the first card in the deck, obviously not. It's unnumbered, or actually the number 0 in Golden Dawn system, right? But the emphasis I see here, it's as if the reader can, decide on intuition, or depending on what the spread position means that this card comes up in, or what the other cards around it suggests, if this is a beginner Fool, or if this is a Fool who already went through the entire cycle of the major arcana, so that he comes out after the universe card, if you know what I mean. Because this is the emphasis on this one, is so much on that higher consciousness. Obviously, so is this one, but I hope I explained it well. Reading it in a more modern way, we tend to see this picture or something that looks a lot like it, and then decide it's mostly about new beginnings, but there is a type of naivete there. And then actually, as I said, image wise, I don't know what is my favorite Fool, but actually the Marseille Fool is my favorite meaning wise, because in the Marseille, the Fool is, well, everything that these two represent, obviously, but the emphasis on the Marseille Fool is that he is an outcast, and he is misunderstood, and he is, you know, um, sent away. He isn't welcome anywhere. So, where in the Rider-Waite Smith we have the cute doggy being his companion, here we have the cat biting his leg. And usually in the classic Marseille, we would have a cat or a dog, biting his butt or worse. So being shunned and being pushed out. But that means, what is that saying? We see that all the time these days. It's not a bad thing to be considered crazy in a sick society. And I will put it in the screen and put who said it first if I can find it. But something along those lines I see in the Marseille Fool. So meaning wise, this is my favorite Fool. Now, of course, we are comparing, and what I liked is that I always see the Fool as a more outward and inward energy. Now, I also read directionally, so the left side would be the past, and the right side would be the future. Now, what the Thoth deck is doing beautifully is that the Fool is facing us head on, because it is both. At least that is my explanation, or one of the explanations of that. In the Rider-Waite Smith, funnily enough, the Fool is going left as if going towards the past, but the Marseille Fool and all of the traditional Marseille Fools are moving towards the future in an outward direction. So yeah, I just liked those differences. The Magicians, and this one is called the Magician, but actually it's a battleur, more like a street artist, the juggler, and this is the Magus. So I will flip through these decks a little more quickly. Beautiful priestess, high priestess, papess, but it says high priestess. Trying to find a spot for all my cards. So the Empress, Emperor. I feel like all the elements are there, Okay, so this is the Hierophant in both of these decks, and here I have the Bacchus, kind of like Dionysus, the god of wine and feasting and all of that. So non-religious, you could say, figure, which is what I have in my paradoxical deck at the moment. I'm enjoying this little guy, but the original is also named the Hierophant, although in the regular Marseille, that would be, of course, the Pope. This is the original in the Triomphe deck. Much more, related to these guys. The lovers. Look, this is funny because here we have the lovers that we see so often, the two people very Adam and Eve like in the Garden of Eden, probably with the angel. Is that Gabriel? I believe, right? Just there. Then here we have major alchemical symbolism with so much going on. Like, funnily enough, this is supposed to be Eve and Lilith, although I mean, looks more like Adam to me, but every book says Lilith, so fine. I'm okay with that. But it's like the light and the dark and the different energies coming together. So it's not, obviously, this archetype is not about love, romantic love. It's universal love, and much more than that. It's also, combining parts of yourself, like that alchemical symbol, finding the gold within. By that I mean the philosopher's stone, all of that. And then here we actually have lovers, like two demon friend creatures met up in a garden in the evening, in the night, and in secret. Quite beautiful, but I miss the traditional Marseille symbolism in this deck for this card. Even though I love it, it's sweet, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I love when this card comes up in readings, but I miss that figure in the middle, choosing between a younger and an older woman. So to me, this idea of choice then becomes very clear. I mean, honestly, we have choice here as well, which path are you taking and all of that. But I loved the traditional Marseille of, it's also like a generation thing. It's a generation, you can see that here as well, by the way, with the kids. But it's a generation thing because the young man in the middle, choosing between, I think, his mother and his future wife. It's as if, yeah, as if he's choosing, is he going to not step into life as an individual and stay with his mother, choose his mother, or is he going to make his own life and then has to somehow separate himself a little bit more from this parent figure in order to be with his wife, like the new female presence in his life, like the new major female presence in his life. It's kind of a cruel way of reading the card, but the tarot is cruel because life can be cruel, you know what I mean? So this is a lot less cruel. But yeah, somehow I miss the traditional lovers interpretation, or yeah, like more clearer meaning. The Chariot, this was the first card in the tarot that I had serious issues with, because all I could see in the beginning was ego and the unhelpful, stupid type of ego. And now I got over it. All I see now is Jimi Hendrix straight ahead. So love that. I don't mind these ones either with the gargoyles. Very nice. And then this one is quite cool as well. It's a different angle from the traditional Marseille, because we see the chariot from the side, whereas usually we would have the chariot facing us and then the two horses going in two different directions. And now instead of horses, we have these half ladies, I guess. But really cool. Okay, have to switch something up here, because this is my birth card, the Justice card. Justice archetype. Now, I consider strength partly my birth card as well, because the Rider-Waite-Smith, as I said, is the first system I read with, and in this deck 8 is strength. So it's my birth card but also the life path number, and I'm a Libra, so there you go. Anyway, Justice. So I love all of these. I think my favorite one though is Thoth, because it's just Maat. And she's so, you know, I love the Alpha Omega. I love like this idea of this room somewhere, and same as here. Here it appears to be like more outside, but I love this idea of this room, and it's all balanced, Masonic, as many black tiles as white tiles on the floor, stuff like that. And oh, just the weighing of the feather against the heart, or the heart against the feather, rather. I enjoy that so much, and I love the symmetry. I love to see symmetry in tarot cards. And then here, where she is actually balancing on the tippy toes on this sword or ox goad, and then the scales. I love them. Love them. Okay. Hermit. I mean, this one is this one is my favorite. Yeah, this one is my favorite. With Cerberus, the Orphic egg. I love that the middle point of this card is the hand. Actually, it looks more like a fist here, but it's a hand. And I always remembered Jodorowsky's explanation for the blue hand in the Hermit. And this is kind of a blue-looking hand to me in this greenie. And I love that because he is in touch, literally in touch with the spiritual plane. But also, this one is such a friendly looking master, and so is this one. God, I love them all. The wheels. There you go. Okay, here we are. Strength and lust. So this one is my favorite because it's the my favorite card in this deck. I even thought of getting this as a tattoo at some point, but I think it would need some tweaking before I take a tattoo that's this important. But I love this lady. She is like the culmination, right? The coming together, the combining already of the beautiful pure white lady. I mean white because she's wearing the white gown. Here it's like the Babylon, very different actually. It's more of a scarlet woman, whereas here, and I feel even here ish before this happened, this merging happened, it's more of that purity, you know, that type of goodness. And then here the girl and the beast are already combined, they're already together, merged. That's why it's my favorite. I don't really know how to explain that today, but I also absolutely love this card. It just makes sense to me. Yeah. And then I also like this one. So this isn't really strength, it's strength with something else. It's lust. It's gorgeous. And if, guys, if you're watching this video and you don't know Thoth system, but you love tarot, please go online and check out the meaning of the lust card, because it is so incredibly inspiring. So it might be scary for some people, or outrageous, or just going way too far into the crazy stuff, but to me, reading Crowley, it does inspire so much. And this card is so yeah, I don't know, it's just great. It's just great. I love it. Okay, Hanged Man, Le Pendu. Two death cards and one Arcanum 13, as you can see. Look, I love this one. I love it so much. I love it much more than this one. This was never my favorite death card, but I also really like this. Still though, I mean, Patrick did a great job with this death card. I can see many things that I can work with, like that creature coming out of the stomach, like being reborn and all of that. And even though we see the dismembered body parts in the graveyard, or on the ground at least, I still love the traditional death, or the traditional Arcanum 13 Marseille prompt a little bit more, because of the scythe and all of that. And so this just reminds me of that more. But I love the I love the dismembered parts on the ground much more. there's just so much to work with, meaning wise. All right, Temperance, and this in the 12th deck is called Art. And this is the art of alchemy, and you can definitely see the red lion is now white, and the white eagle is now red. That was really difficult to say. Yeah, I love all of these. This one has a wonderful detail that I absolutely adore, which is the drinking elephant. Elephants are maybe my favorite animal. Yeah, one of my favorite animals. And there you go. Devil, very phallic here. I like all of these. I think actually I prefer this one because it's so iconic. It's so clear what we're looking at, the devil kind of thing. And I have this one in the Valenza deck at the moment, but actually I do prefer this one because I don't know, with the snakes, and it's almost like you're willingly taking poison, and here there's maybe a little bit less of that particular symbolism to go on. Also, just image wise, I like this one more, but just to change it up, I have this one in the deck right now, so why not? Very cool. Okay, the Tower. As you can see at the moment, I have the newest card, the House of God. To change it up, my first favorite one was the Tower. Again, very dark, very iconic, very strong yet crumbling. I love this depiction. It just pulls me into the card. But the more I work with this one, the more I am amazed by its genius. There's the eye of truth. There's the mouth who actually is spitting out fire. All of these people falling out of the destroyed tower, they aren't really people. They are fractions of people. It's like they have to be rebuilt as well. It's just great. At first, all I saw was chaos, which obviously is the point of this card. But I mean, just look at it. It's amazing. And this one is just a new for me, old depiction. Yeah, old version of the Tower, the House of God. I enjoyed working with this one a lot. Now, for this one, we also have a more traditional, to me, looking tower, also named the Tower, right? Crumbling building. And then here we have another favorite, the Lightning, which is also historically accurate. Both of these, like the Bacchus is also, you can see in older decks, all of the double cards are inspired by historical decks as well. So I love the Lightning as well. I love that it's a tree. And I heard Sylvain say in one of his videos, like, it makes more sense to have a tower there because it's something that we built ourselves. And yes, I agree with that. It's just, I think here, obviously, it's the shepherd, right? So everything around the tree, it's part of the land, is still built, like you have to take care of the land, you take care of your flock, and the tree, it's something living and breathing that actually gives you life that is destroyed here. So still heartbreaking. I get both symbolisms. And then this one, obviously, being pushed out of the house of God. The Star, love all of these for different reasons. Look at how saturated this card is in my deck. Knew it. Absolutely beautiful. Love that spiral. I love the spiral cups, her shape, overall shape, the colors, really, really beautiful. Now, I have this card in the deck, more like an astronomer, right? And then this is the other option, and I love them both. But for now, I have this one. The Moon, my favorite card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This will probably always be my favorite moon card. I have some very special experiences, personal, yeah, trips, you could say, adventures with this card. So connected to dreams and the sub and unconscious. Beautiful. I also like this one with the Anubis figures, but I mean, I get the symbolism. It's beautifully executed. Still, I prefer this one. Yeah, just image-wise. And then this sleeping demon friend. Yeah, it's just nice. I do, though, wish it wasn't so up close. I love the path idea, and we don't really have that here. Apart from that, of course, it's a beautiful moon. Just the overall card, it's not my favorite, but I can say that because this is my favorite deck. So, Sun. Oh, okay. So, I really don't mind the baby on the horse. Also, this is not a baby, this is a child. Like older than a baby. Always like that. It's like the joy of life and the rebirth, all of that. Very friendly sun face. Yeah. Absolutely love this one with the twins. It's just gorgeous with the sun with the black background still. Beautiful. But this is probably the most beautiful sun card I've ever seen. Yeah. Okay, Judgment and the Aeon. So here for the Valenza deck, we have a different option. This is the last double in the deck. I love both of these. Right now I have this one, as you can see. And I can work with the symbolism, it's great. I think though this one is really cool because the Aeon, it means something different. You know, it's all of these cards are about awakening, a type of awakening, but the Aeon is like a revolution type of thing. I can keep going about this, but love it. Okay, and then finally the world and the universe. I love all of these. They are all beautiful. I don't have a favorite. And this one is called the universe. Just a different name. All right. Going into the minors. So this is a fully scenic deck. Obviously, you know that. This is a Marseille type pip deck. And this is a Tothified Marseille. So this is, I consider both of these pips with feelings. So there's another hashtag for you right there. Obviously, we have different colors and backgrounds and so many differences in the Thoth number cards. These aces, definitely not my favorites. They're all pretty much the same. It's a hand coming out of a cloud handing you the suit. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, symbolism, yeah, sure it works. This is basically the same thing, but incredibly cool. And here we have just a pure force, and we get to see a tree of life type of thing. Two of Wands. Three of Wands. Four. I do love how the Valenza deck, and I have two videos about this, changes up the wands. Just look at that. The 4 and the 5. You see how the 5 has these thorns, thick thorns, and the 4 has the beautiful curls, which can be interpreted in either, because it's a passive number, wilting, like the leaves, they curl, they wilt away, and then new growth is necessary, which is happening obviously in the active numbers with the new wand being presented, or it's just a beautiful, like artsy, creative moment in the wands. That's why it's such a wonderful deck. Every number card is the same yet different, whereas in a traditional historical Marseille, usually, right, we get this exact same wands in every talking about suit of wands, exact same wands in every card. The only thing that is different there is the vines, the plants, the foliage that is growing, and the flowers that are flowering or wilting. And here we have, yeah, just more things that are different. Really like this, and this type of wheel idea. Very smart. I love this one. It just screams victory to me. Am I crazy? Don't answer that. But it just is now. This is what it is, victory. I mean, both of these as well, but the other one is less straightforward. Seven of Wands, a card that I needed to make my peace with. There was I think like a seven misunderstanding in my life kind of thing. Obviously the Chariot being the seven, which is the first card that I really struggled with in the tarot. Took a while to become friends with that archetype and understand how I can use it in my life without feeling selfish or feeling, with that inflated ego type thing. Here it's about, standing your ground and defending yourself and being ready to defend yourself. And it doesn't come from a unhealthy, stressed place. It comes from this is me and I'm creating myself and I'm allowed to be here kind of feeling. So yeah. Eight of Wands. This is actually, funnily enough, the most abstract card out of all three of these in the Scenic Pips deck. I like this because it's swiftness, like this one, but it shows the movement, yet it also shows the boundaries, because after all, it's an 8, it's the hyperstability. This one can be read in many different ways. I like how the wands either, because these are the ones, weird, right? Come together or they all explode out of a middle kind of thing. We have a rainbow here, which also implies it's about a type of whole, a type of unity. This one I like because it's a big cross. And to me, in the Marseille, the eights in the number card are actually the last in that sequence, because it's the big cross, it's the big ending. This is the big hyperstability, yet we still have the 9 and the 10. And the 9 is kind of like we still have the exact same ones plus one wand, and here we still have the exact same ones plus two wands. I don't think this makes sense, so I'm going to try to explain again. Once we see these 8 wands, they no longer change. We have this one plus an extra one, and here we have the exact same ones. I mean, exact with different decorations there, which obviously carry meaning, plus 2 wands. And I don't know, I just like it. The 9 is then considered the actual end, and then the 10 is the end and the new beginning. I mean, yeah. But I like the, long story short, I like the big cross. It's like the end. No, no more. We are done. And this energy keeps going in the 9 of Wands and in the 10 actually as well. Oppression. Hope you see what I mean. Okay, so the courts. Different, right? We have pages. This would be a valet, I think, etc. Different names. Here we have the princess, which usually when you flip through a Thoth, you go knight, queen, prince, princess, right? Because it's a different type of system. But here, for comparison's sake, I put them in this order. These two are actually very similar. But I enjoy that. I love these court cards because they mean something to me. The traditional Marseille court cards, still very, I don't want to say difficult, just very unsatisfactory, not fun for me to read. I'm still trying, but not pressuring myself. Okay, so here again, I know that the prince is the equivalent of the 12th prince is the equivalent of the Rider-Waite-Smith knight. I know, I get it, because the king and this knight are with the queen. Get it? Yet, elementally, we still get this fire of fire, and we get this air of fire. Plus, and I'm not saying, wrong or right, all of that. It's just both true, in my opinion, and uncomparable because it's a different system, guys. I know you can read it without studying forever, but you will study forever. But that is just the tarot in itself, inherently tarot. But also, image-wise and book T-wise, these two compared makes more sense because they are seated, right? And these two compared make more sense because they are on a horse. Get it? Okay, but I'm not here to explain any of that because people will disagree anyway, and it's okay. I just wanted to make my point. It's like, it's not that, to me, not that straightforward that this knight is the same as the Prince of Wands. Not exactly the same. But that is probably why Mistress Ray started doing these unfair comparisons, because this is the best example of an unfair comparison. I love all of these queens, Queen of Wands, all absolutely amazing. Just, yeah, I cannot choose a favorite. Why would I? I have all 3 decks, right? So anyway, for the rest of the flip through, the knight is going to be last just because the knight is with the queen and this king is with the queen. And yes, in the story that is explained in the books that we have, these two are the same. Yeah, it's just elementally they're different. And I love to read court cards in an elemental way. So that obviously is part of this issue. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, obviously this guy's on a horse. And yeah, I mean, just so many things that I have said and have not said. And this is it. Okay. See how boring this one is? When you look at these two, oh, so strong. I mean, see how this one is is funny as well. This is such a good deck because it makes fun of these archetypes as well. Little drop of blood, and still so much symbolism that we can get out of it. 2 of Swords, peace. So right, I get that this card is read as, oh, you have to make a decision and all of that. I still consider that. But I love how enlightening Book of Thoth was for the 2 of Swords and why it's called peace, why they named it peace. It's because it's a type of, you know how you can attack or in battle, obviously swords are weapons, how you can attack in battle or you can retract, yeah, like wave the white flag, admit loss, or you can do nothing. That is still an option. That is still a war tactic. And this card is about just that, about that decision isn't the right one, neither is that one, and so I choose to not choose. And that was just, I don't know why that was very enlightening to me. This way it makes an eye. All right. So more and more people are expressing their negative feelings about the stabbed heart, which I get because I too am not a fan when I see this card solely interpreted as heartbreak. That's just too easy. And there's more to the card. But still, I love this card. I love all of them. Really, really nice. Truce. Different type of peace and retracting, going inwards. Sometimes when, especially when doing readings for myself, I realize the Four of Swords, it's the don't worry card, which is interesting because later on in a five, we get worry. It would be, it's not the Five of Swords, it's the Five of Discs, but yeah. Love all of this symbolism with the rose petals, like the rose is taken apart. Yeah. Science. A stumbling block for most people learning Thoth. Different ways of reading this card. Also different ways of reading this card. But the science part, most of the time, to me at least this year, it was about knowledge. Trusting that as well. And this is also therefore about taking these experiences with you without maybe having too many emotions in there. So it's kind of like a putting things into perspective card. Yeah. Seven of Swords, futility. The Eight. All such strong symbolism. Nine, again, very striking, each and every one of these. 10, same. Okay, the Quartz. Quite beautiful. There's a lot of action. Queen of Swords, a favorite court of many tarot readers. I like that because she, again, is one of those misunderstood people, I feel. And I love all three of these. All three of these. Okay, Ace of Cups. Very nice. Two of Cups. I have these two cups as a tattoo on my arm. Three of Cups, beautiful pomegranate cups. I don't have so much to say about these. The Six. So this is funny. Whenever you see many older videos of a Rider-Waite-Smith tarot reader opening a Thoth, this is a stumbling block. Like, why would you name the Six of Cups pleasure? And I don't see any of the tarot symbolism in this card where it's about childhood and memories and nostalgia and going back in time kind of thing. Yeah, really funny. It's like, well, there are different systems, okay? And now we know, now I think we are more connected in this way. because this is just one snapshot of what this card means. So actually, you could even say that there's more. I mean, I'm gonna say that there's more that we can read from the Thoth and the Marseille Six of Cups, even though this is still one of my favorite tarot cards. It's the sweetest card in the deck, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely related to that pleasure. It's the center point, balance. So much actually that we can find. I love all of these. Look at the detail, the little drop right there. Like it's being put in the new cup. The new cup of mysteries. Aren't these vines just beautiful in this card? Love that so much. And then here we can see it's not all beautiful. And here as well. Yeah. Okay. Isn't this a beautiful card? Look at this. It's the same landscape, right? It's like this person is moving away, climbing that mountain, but this landscape here, it's this. So well done. Incredibly well done. The nine, I always love to see Nine of Cups composed in this way on the card because it looks like a trophy cabinet. And actually, it also looks like a trophy cabinet in this card, just different. There's also somehow this idea of waiting for people, and this person is alone. It's a nine, the hermit. There's a type of expectation, and it's a different type of expectation than from these ones, but I like it. It's expectation and obviously accomplishment at the same time. This, I think, was one of the first cards that got damaged of this well-loved deck, because this yellow kind of scratch here, I don't know how that happened, but it's like as if somehow a part of the paint fell off. Ten of Cups. I love this one. I just do. I just do. And I think it's a great change, even though, symbolically we can definitely do something with the closed cup, because the cap of the closed cup is the coin, which is the next suit, the Ace of Coins. But here the cup is open and they're all filled with water. So I do enjoy that symbolism as well. Different takes. Okay, so usually I think like this. This I cannot help. I just can't help it. You might say, you're so wrong and you shouldn't read Thoth. This is how this is the connection that I make. Because I read it so elementally, and this is a specific person in my life that I see in the Knight of Cups, that I see in this card, in that card. Okay? And then this, fine, you might say this is what it's supposed to be, but I don't see that much of that person in this card. Did that make sense? Anyway, I love the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups. I like that she's almost not there. Here we go with the Kings. Yeah. Okay, last suit. So here we have Earth, Pentacles, very magical Pentacles, because it's something that's on the altar. Here we have discs, right? And here we have coins, like denier, like money. The different types of balance in the twos, but all clearly connected. Look at this. What was it again? Oh yeah, I had to check because I knew that there was something in these wheels in case you hadn't seen it yet. This, of course, being the tetrahedron, but here we have Mercury, sulfur, and salt. See that? So cool. Four of discs, coins, pentacles, four of earth. This card in different decks showed up, I think, 3 times so far in Tarot Vlogmas. So maybe I'm done with this card now, okay? I've seen enough for you. Thank you very much for your information. I want to move on. Here we go. Worry. Yeah. Part of the process, eh? The 6. These are both quite balanced. And here it's almost as if the scale is not in balance. So I think somehow here, this card emphasizes the shadow side of success, what it means for others, or what it means for other aspects, areas in your life. Here, to me, I always somehow see like planets coming together, as in here they are colliding and cracking open, like the lava, it looks like. Lava kind of thing. And here they are once more aligned and in the same kind of orbit. And here this is just as above, so below, but obviously also this way, very mirrored, very symmetrical. I love all of these for different reasons. And yeah, failure, I get it. It's not exactly failure. Think of it like this, right? If you work with Thoth or with any deck, you can do the same trick. So confused or conflicted about a keyword, but you know, in Thoth, this is not keyword, this is a title. This is what this card is named. And I think of it like Lord of, and then the title, which obviously they did change a little bit from book T. I think it's like 3 cards that they changed. It's not exactly restored peace. They changed it to peace or something like that with the 2 because, well, it was just too, it's too early in the process to be anything restored. So it needed to be changed to peace. I hope you're still following me. But here, think of it as Lord of Failure, meaning you know what failure is, you understand failure. And so you therefore also know what to do. It's like you have to have experienced at least a little bit of failure or setback in order to do the right thing now, kind of thing. So that sheds maybe a little bit more of a positive, helpful, constructive message to this otherwise quite grim looking card. See what I mean? The 8. This is such an iconic card. I think maybe at some point I will need this as a print in my home. Just like the Love Witch. So cool. Like somebody paint this for me. Yeah, I don't mind this one. I actually quite like it with the sturdy tree trunk and all the pentacles, you know, moving in an upwards direction. But I love the Marseille and the Tothified Marseille, aka Toth, because it's such a ladder kind of composition. So you can almost climb these ones. Maybe my least favorite card in this deck? Yeah, there's just less to read here. And also even the title Gain, there's just, I don't know why. It falls the most flat to me. still, you know, we can work with it. I really like this lady, and I really like this luxurious looking 9 of coins. And just love the details. There's a little snail, which is also one of my favorite animals. Together with crows slash ravens and dogs. For your information, any card with dogs, there is a type of story that includes trust and loyalty. So I love to see dogs in cards, the Fool, this card, etc. Not my favorite, but I can work with it. Same here. I think this one is my favorite. Yeah, pretty sure of it. Okay, so the archetype of the student in the Thoth deck, that is the Princess of Discs. And isn't she amazing? Oh, she's so beautiful. And it's a different type of student because it's a different type of promise for the future because she is actually pregnant here. So we kind of know where we're going. We have an idea of what direction these energies are moving in. We know what is going to happen, and yet everything is still, beginning. Look, also in my mind, I do this because these two are just so similar. Don't worry, I know the story of the Thoth court cards. It's not like I make one system and then I don't take into account the actual system or the card I'm looking at. But in my mind, these two are just, I don't think you can argue with that. Like, these are so similar. But yeah. Not always a fan of this one until Manuela said, no, wait, I said that. I said it's a turtle. I said it was it looked like a turtle. And then Manuela liked that so much because she loves turtles that it made me like this card more. So it was definitely like our conversation made me like this card more. And yeah, I totally like this guy. I don't know. It's just good energy, like a protective energy. But so is the king, very protective energy, in a good way, right? I do love this card though because of all of this abundance, all of these flowers just radiating in our direction. I love that. Absolutely amazing, beautiful, fierce Queen of Discs, Mother archetype. Had to work with it a little bit, but I still like it a lot. This deck is, like many Marseille decks, quite satirical. So these people are also made fun of. Whereas in these two decks, there's definitely less of that. It's much more serious, straight face, ceremonial magic idea. But, that is what makes it incredibly beautiful and great to work with as well. So can't complain. And here you go. Very long video, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, Mixtress Ray, and thank you so much, Sylvain, because apparently I did 2 hashtags. And also, obviously, thanks again to Papa Squirrel, because so I did Pips with Feelings, if that was even a tag, I have to check. I did Ride or Die Unfair Comparisons. These are my Ride or Die decks, I'd say. And I did, oh yeah, Tarot Vlogmas. So, Merry Yule once more. Enjoy the winter solstice. I know there might be the discussion of, hey, you're 2 days too early. It's just on December 23rd. I don't care. I celebrate it on 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and then obviously in all the other Christmas traditions that we have that I already shared with you in my last 2 videos. So thank you all so much for being here. Please leave a comment. I mean, I had 78 cards times 3 to go through, so I'm sure everyone watching will have something to say. And if you don't, then at least leave me with a little Yule present and comment below rose cross. How about that? Yeah? So if you have nothing to say, just comment rose cross so I know that you made it this far into the video. I just love to know that. It's a little game I like to play. And if you made it this far and you have a comment to share, then maybe get creative and put rose cross in your comment. Implement that into your comment. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!